Bismillah. It is indeed a matter of great honor and pleasure for me to welcome you all who are physically present here and those who are virtually attending the meeting. Today we have a second lecture of the series on artificial intelligence titled Artificial Intelligence for Cybersecurity. Professor Dr. Tasawwur Hayat, Secretary General, Pakistan Academy of Sciences, was scheduled to attend this session. Somehow he has a meeting with the Vice Chancellor of Kaizen University and is not able to come so far. Maybe he will come towards the end of this lecture. Anyhow, we start with the proceedings of this lecture with the recitation from the Holy Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna atayna kal kawsar. Fasalli li rabbika wanhar. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar. Today's speaker is Professor Dr. Kashif Kafayat. Dr. Kashif Kafayat is the Director of the National Center of Cybersecurity, Pakistan, and Dean Faculty of Computing and Artificial Intelligence at Air University, Pakistan. Before joining Air University as professor in cybersecurity, he was working as a reader in cybersecurity and head of cybersecurity research group at Liverpool John Moores University, United Kingdom. During his stay at Liverpool John Moores University, he won Amazing Teacher Award 2015 and Amazing Supervisor Award 2017 and successfully supervised 12 PhD students in cybersecurity in the UK. Professor Kashif Kafayat has over 20 years experience of academia, research, and industry. He had taken multiple national level cybersecurity initiatives both in the UK and Pakistan. He successfully chaired 2 HEA conferences on cybersecurity teaching and learning in the UK. He is an author of Pakistan's first BS cybersecurity curriculum and founder of the Pakistan first academic department of the cybersecurity at Air University. He has built up a strong research and scholarship track record embedded in teaching and learning with good impacts. His active engagement in cybersecurity security research has resulted in 8 national and international research funded projects worth of $2.6 million and over 80 research publications, including good quality journal papers. I invite Professor Kashif Kafayat to deliver his talk on artificial intelligence for cybersecurity. Dr. Kashif Kafayat, sir, it's over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the introduction. And Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I will share my screen of a presentation. So I think my talk today is about the use of AI in cybersecurity. But I think, mashallah, I have very senior people sitting around, and it was a good opportunity for me to actually embed some of the important aspects which I would like to highlight today, is that the importance of the future direction in terms of strategic way. And then I will actually give some example that how the AI being used in existing R&D that we have established at the National Center of Security. So I've slightly modified the title. Is that the Pakistan is the next frontier in cybersecurity, and the use of AI, that is obviously that we're trying to cover. Here, actually, I would like to highlight that something from the scratch, and then actually how the world actually moving in the direction of what step they are taking in cybersecurity, and how we can compete and how we can lead in the world in the domain of cybersecurity. So I will start my presentation. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Is it my slides are visible? Is my slides are visible?
Yes,
okay.
visible.
Yes. Okay. So this is the quick. I will start my presentation. Or this is the content of my presentation. that cybersecurity is a global challenge. World is doing in order to tackle that challenge, and an opportunity. What is the global cybersecurity market? And then obviously developed countries and approach towards cybersecurity, and Pakistan approach. And in Pakistan, that's where I will cover the AI part and some of the recommendation I will give. That is what as a nation we have to move in the domain of cybersecurity. So the first thing that before we actually move to cybersecurity is it's important to understand what is actually cyberspace is. So normally people will give different definition of cyberspace. So cyberspace is actually the internet, your telecommunication network, or all interconnected systems that is a part of the cyberspace. And cybersecurity is all about protecting the cyberspace. So the question comes that in any other domain, you can define the boundaries through land, through sea, through airspace. What is the boundary of any country in those aspects? But when it comes to cyberspace, there is no border. So it's very difficult for you to actually define what will be the border of, or what will be the range of Pakistan cyberspace. So normally how you answer that question is that wherever the digital asset reside, irrespective of the geolocation of a country, if our digital asset resides in the country which is outside Pakistan and connected to Pakistan, that is also the part of Pakistan cyberspace. So cyberspace is all combined with your infrastructure, with your data, and that is composed like this. But the cybersecurity is a global challenge. It's not Pakistan, it's a global challenge, and it's costing in trillion, worth of US dollar to the global economy. So you could see that in 2020, it nearly cost 1 trillion US dollar. Now by 2025, the expected, the loss because of the cyber crimes will be expected is 10.5 trillion, that is a huge number. So you could see that, and why this is happening. And one of the main reasons of that is actually the dependency on the digital infrastructure. So we want to actually automate things. We want to improve things. We want to actually bring efficiency in things. So you rely more on technology and you rely more on, ICT technologies. And then when you do that, your all assets are on that digital domain. And that actually trigger up these losses because your businesses, like you could see in Pakistan, a lot of online businesses, online shopping are booming up. So that could be a potential threat. If somebody attacks those services, that's actually how you measure the loss because of cyber attack. So for example, the Raz.pk or any other domain is selling per minute per products. So if their website is unavailable because of any cyber attack, that's how you quantify the losses because of the cyber attack. So this is a global approach. We have to carefully see that for what world is doing in terms of cybersecurity. So you could see that majority, in fact, all of the developed countries and even developing countries developed their cybersecurity strategies, for 5-year strategies. So it means what they will do in order as a nation to improve as a whole. So you could see that Americans developed their first cybersecurity strategy in 2003. Then you look at the example of Europe in 2008, they have developed their strategies. Japan, Canada, 2010, other countries led, you could see that they started in, in 2011. And Pakistan has published national cybersecurity policy in 2021. So you could see that in terms of the delay that we had as compared to the international world. So if you download the documents of these strategies, all of them, US, Europe, Canada, UK, they have some common theme that they are focusing on. And these are listed below. So these are governance and legal framework, develop national capability to defend. But the red, which I've highlighted, they are more relevant to us as academic. So what we can do as an academic and how I can contribute to these strategies. So I don't have to actually develop any rocket science. Even if I follow any of these components in any strategies, I will be contributing toward Pakistan. But again, these elements are covered in Pakistani policies as well. So the red, which I've highlighted, is important, as I said, man, because we have to this presentation is actually also aspect to the touch of the strategic move that we need to do is cybersecurity education and awareness as Pakistani nation, research and development program, and cybersecurity industry establishment. So these are three main components of the ecosystem. If one or two we do and we leave the third one, we will have the impact of this as well. So I will cover that as a core and very important thing I would like to cover in today's presentation is what approach as a nation we have to move in this direction. But that's not limited to cybersecurity. Any domain we want to compete internationally, we can adopt the same strategy. Okay. So, so this is the global market of cybersecurity markets. You could see that these are different products in different domain. Encryption software in the world, 20.1 billion market by 2025. Email security, firewall, mobile apps, critical infrastructure security, telecom security. So all of these market worth of billion US. Now the question is, it is a problem and it is a golden opportunity for us as well. So how we can take the maximum share of these market and bring that revenue to Pakistan. So that is the target that we need to achieve to actually hit these global markets. So what we'll do is, as a Pakistan, we have economic challenges, but again, we have a security challenge, but again, it's a golden opportunity for us to benefit from this market. But this market is cybersecurity. There are many other markets we can actually follow the similar strategy for that as well. Okay, so now this is the, I've set up the targets. You know the world approach, you know that golden opportunity for us, but let's have a look. What is the mature move developed country has taken? Now, if you look into the example as Americans, the primary target was economic growth always. They say, look, we need to target the economy, but same time achieve these goals as well. So fundamental step what they have taken. The fundamental step they have taken for any market to compete globally, they have focused on their education system. And we need to produce those skill set, those capable people who can actually compete in the international market and with innovative solution, so we can actually get revenue for our country. So for that, as a whole, as a journal, I'm giving an example. If you look into the American history of last 100 years, they have done two major overhauling of their curriculum in 1957 and 1983. And that is actually to actually keep the dominance internationally in technology and economy. So they want to see that, look, we want to compete internationally to be dominant in technology and economy. So what they have done, they focus on their education system, core education system. So I'll give you the example, and some interesting examples are coming ahead. So the first major change was triggered in 1957 when Soviet Union launched a Sputnik satellite, and obviously, and then they sit together entire nation and they say, look, let's move to back to the basic attitude and placing the science education at the center of core of the concern. After that, Congress responded to the National Defense Education Act they have developed in 1958 and directed the federal funding in that direction, that they try to opportunity for excellent students seeking the critical thing in training. And the purpose was what? Actually to weaken, lead and dominant the domain of technology and economy. Next bullet point is important. So what they have done? They have asked the leading academician, scientists, psychologists, industrial discussion, and then the target was how we produce the future scientific leaders. And then interestingly, they have done, and they have published a book called The Process of Education, and that is obviously, that led them foundation to compete with Russian and internationally as well. Example 2 of American, that what the second time that they have started overhauling of the system was, let me just move that screen somewhere away, was in 1980. And then again, that they felt that the US is diminishing the world dominant economy. So they again come back to the same, coming back to the, and they have developed a commission in 1983. The focus was on excellence in education, and they have appointed a Reagan administration at that time, published a nation at risk, accusing educators of losing sight of the basic purpose of the education. That why we develop these curriculums, why we develop cybersecurity curriculum, why we develop artificial intelligence, why we use physics, maths, and all of these things. What is the basic purpose of the education? So then they focus on that one again, and again actually devise and revise their education framework. So what it is, now I will move back to the cybersecurity, giving you the example of the historic example of the US. What they have done, they have followed similar approach in cybersecurity as well. What they have done, Americans developed NIST is their organization. They developed a nice framework for cybersecurity education, and that is published. And focus was the workforce framework for cybersecurity education. In this framework, what they have done, they have defined 56 competency in cybersecurity as a nation they are required, and they actually following that framework to build up the entire nation in that domain to actually maintain their dominance. Let's look at the example of the UK. They created a project called CyBOK, which is a framework for cybersecurity body of knowledge. Every single detail was defined in this. This is open source. We can all look into their website, and they defined all the domain that which has to be covered by cybersecurity education. Okay, let's move next. Now we're coming back to Pakistan. That what we have done so far, and that's where obviously I will cover my theme of the topic as well. So I have set up a ground for the talk as well. You could see that cybersecurity is a global challenge. What the world is doing, what the strategy they follow, and historically, when the people want to compete internationally in any domain, what was their primary focus was, that was education. And then obviously other things were interconnected. Okay. Now if you come to Pakistan, what is our strategy that we as a National Center of Cybersecurity is following, and we actually targeting that. So this is the important slide, is the brain that you could say that the core objective we are following here at Air University and the National Center of Cybersecurity. These are three building blocks which I highlighted in the strategies of the cybersecurity. The first component, the number one in yellow, you can see that the high quality skill set development we need. If you want to compete in the cybersecurity industry, we need to actually have the degree program in BS, MS, and PhD and certification to create skill set. Is R&D. You want to compete internationally. You want to actually bring a product which are innovative and better than other countries. We have to be innovative. For that, we need R&D setup, which will be more productive R&D setup. Okay. And the last component, which is the third, is industrial commercialization activity. If we do first and second, and we don't do the third, we will have no benefit of producing so many graduates, and they will have no jobs because they will chop out in the market. So in order to actually complete the ecosystem, in order to target the global market, we need to actually create a culture of startup, science park, freelancing, and all of this to generate more revenue for Pakistan. So you could see that the orange arrows, which you can see that they are dependency on the, on each other. And our ultimate goal is Pakistan economy, creating more jobs. So the more companies we establish, more successful companies, more jobs will be required, and all our graduates of the cybersecurity and other domain can be employed without any problem. And it will generate a lot of revenue. I'll quickly cover that what we have done in these three blocks here at National Center of Cybersecurity and as Air University, what action we have taken so far. So we're trying to be quick. Human resource, the number one point, what we have done. So previously, there was only limited university offering master in information security, but now the challenge is huge. It's very difficult to actually meet these requirements. So Air University took the lead, and we started first BS cybersecurity program in 2017, and it was approved, and we started that in 2018 afterward. After that, obviously, we helped the HEC as well, and we helped them to develop the curriculum at NCAC, which is obviously the body for the curriculum overwatch. They have developed a curriculum in 2019, and now over 18 universities running the cybersecurity program. So this is positive because it's a huge demand at the moment, even in Pakistan, of the cybersecurity skillful people. And the question is, you can ask me how many graduates we can produce, but then how many jobs we will have. The question is, we are not targeting Pakistan, we are targeting the global market. We need more skillful people, we need more manpower, to actually capture this market and bring this revenue to Pakistan. Just to give the example, only UK has 181 universities offering BS cybersecurity program. So imagine that as Pakistan, obviously we are moving toward digital Pakistan. So these challenges will come as a package of cybersecurity when we become more digital. So these are developed countries, and their reports you could see that, and still there is shortage in UK for cybersecurity graduate. So it means they've been producing these graduates for past 7-8 years or 10 years, but still there is a shortage. Here at National Center of Cybersecurity, we have run a national cybersecurity training campaign, and we have delivered a lot of free training, and over 1,600 people that we have trained, 72 different workshops. We have actually developed student clubs, and you can go on CCS website, and these workshops are scheduled, and you can actually get the trainings there as well. Again, we are working with Germany, Turkey, and Pakistani universities, again, on security education and awareness. So part of the project is 1 million euros project. And part of that, 4 different national cybersecurity awareness center will be developed in Air University, NUTS, LUMS, and IB Culture. Again, if you ask the question, where we do stand in terms of HR to compete globally, and my answer will be at an early stage. We still actually have to actually run and produce, highly talented people. I'm telling you that because yesterday we've been visited a company from Turkey, and they were asking for people of graduate from Pakistan who are expert in cybersecurity. So again, everybody is looking for good talent and skill. So I think for us, it's a golden opportunity, and we can actually take our share from that as well. I'll quickly cover R&D setup initiative. Part of that is government of Pakistan through HEC has developed National Center of Cybersecurity. We have 11 research labs. Headquarters is at Air University, and we have 2 research labs here at Air University as well. And they are working in different domain of cybersecurity, R&D, and they are also developing some products. The vision we have at the National Center of Cybersecurity is that we would like to play a leading role in securing Pakistan's cyberspace and make Pakistan as a premium nation in the world in the domain of cybersecurity. Our mission is again to build a national capability and produce indigenous solutions and professionals in the domain of cybersecurity. These are 11 research labs located in different universities in Pakistan, and these are the domain that they are covering at a different aspect. Now, our topic was actually artificial intelligence in cybersecurity. So all our lab heavily improve the capability of the cybersecurity tools as well. I will explain the detail a little bit later when I will give you the brief outlook of the products that we have done. So you could see that we have a lab at Bahari University, NIT Karachi, UT Peshawar, ITU Lahore, UT Texla, LUMS, Pias, Military College, UT Lahore, at NIT University, 2 labs. If you look into these labs, they are working in a different domain of cybersecurity. And most of these labs have the products are ready, and they will be commercializing them, inshallah. I will give you a quick brief later on. So this is the entire HR of the center that we have over 44 different PhD scientists working this, and is altogether 155 different researcher, associate, and developer working in the National Center of Cybersecurity. So the second component which I was highlighting, the R&D, alhamdulillah, we have actually started R&D in Pakistan, and we are going in the right direction, inshallah. This is a quick output of the center so far. So our target was 31 different products, but alhamdulillah, we have increased that, and we are doubling up those product target range, and most of our output and outcomes are above the target as we promised in our PC1. These are the product range. So we have mobile phone forensics, computer forensics tools, social media forensics. These are primarily used by FIA for investigation purposes. Then we have firewalls, blockchain security tool, antivirus we are developing in Pakistan, intrusion detection system, and again, mobile device security, operating system security. All of that R&D is happening in Pakistan now, inshallah. So this is our first IoT firewall made in Pakistan. Again, it's already available in the market. with a lot of features. Again, it is available on their website and they are selling it with a name called Things Eyes. Now here, AI is heavily used to detect the patterns of different attacks because the pattern of the attack rapidly change. So the artificial intelligence actually help to learn about these new pattern of attack, and they try to successfully stop them. So a lot of different models of artificial intelligence are used in the traffic analysis and end user analysis. Then we have firmware, the hardware security analysis. Like for example, we extract the firmware from any device and look if there is any backdoor or if there are any other vulnerabilities exist. We have web security assessment tool, again developed by one of our lab at NUST. We have Android vulnerability scanning tool, again. So you could say 90% of our tool are using AI for actually improving their detection rate and their performance and their other methods in terms of the cybersecurity. Operating system compliance. So this is a tool like, for example, if you run on your computer, it will tell you what vulnerabilities you have, what problem you can have because of the system that you are using, and maybe you are vulnerable to a cyber attack. Secure VPN is another tool developed by our lab. We have a profiler. This is mobile phone forensics tool. Mobile phone forensics tool mean when FIA actually arrest any criminal for offense or cybercrime, they seize their mobile phone. So then they connect to the mobile phone and extract the entire data from the mobile phone, and that is called image. Now in image, that is a one file, and after that they do analysis on those. So you could see the tool on the front of that. This is again indigenously developed in Pakistan. This tool can actually analyze different things on your mobile phone. And normally in an investigation, they have to find images, videos, and a lot of data is available. So we have tools available. For example, you have thousands of images and you want to search an image with a gun. Again, here is image processing and artificial intelligence is used to actually efficiently detect those images without going through all the images one by one. A machine learning based algorithm can detect those images instantly, and then they report them in a part of the report as well. This is for data recovery tool for any data when they see the offender, and then they use to recover the deleted data for investigation purpose. Again, this is 4Kit forensics tool, exactly same like mobile phone. We are developing, again, heavily use AI. So for AI, what we have done, we have developed different APIs. And these APIs libraries are used by different tools for AI-based functionalities. This is the dashboard of the tool. This is AU Watch. This is mobile device management. This normally the cost of this tool is developed by IBM. It cost 5 million. मतलब 50 लाख तक इसकी कीमत होती है. अभी हमारे मार्केट में आने वाला है तो इसकी कीमत 25 लाख तक हम प्रपोज कर रहे हैं, and this will be selling out in the market in a month to time. Obviously, agencies actually buy this tool as well. So all these tools are in a mature stage, and they are in a final stage of the coming to the market. So that is where actually these technologies indigenously developed in Pakistan, and we try to create companies in Pakistan. And the purpose is that strategy that we want to help the economy of Pakistan and also fulfill our requirement as well. And you see that the use of AI is heavily in all of these tools. This is security enhanced customized Android operating system. Here what we are doing is we are modifying the entire open source operating system of Android as per our security requirement. This is the solution which monitor time attacks on the networks, and it actually detect them and monitor them. Again, this is intrusion detection system, which again you can install on the network to detect the attack. Heavily use AI here as well. You could see that pattern matching and all of this is again done through the use of AI. This is again one of our tools developed by our lab in Bahari University. Again, their tool is 85% ready, and they will be rolling that in the market as well. This is again the same with their dashboard. See that it actually geographically actually tell you where the attack is coming from. This is AirWatch. This is a social media forensics. So it's again used by law enforcement agency to monitor any criminal activity happening online. So Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of these social media monitoring, the platform can be monitored using this tool, and it use natural language processing, again heavily use AI to actually detect the troublemakers on the social media and track them down as well. And this is the threat intelligence platform in our other lab. Our data prevention file integrity monitoring solution. It means if somebody modify your computer file and save it, protect your files, again, this solution can be used. Blockchain security lab we have at IIT Lahore. They are actually looking to the blockchain and blockchain ability they have. And they have the toolkits as well, which called PKI chain for certification in Pakistan. This is in Park and virus, which is in process of development, and it is in final stage. PreviEye is the same tool that I've already given before. This is the same tool that I presented previously at UT Lahore. Again, this can be used for child protection as well. For example, you at home, and obviously you can monitor children surfing the internet, and this is again a useful tool. Again, our labs are heavily engaged with Facebook as well. You could see that we have identified vulnerabilities in the Facebook's website and apps, and these are reported by our lab at LUMS to the Facebook, and these vulnerabilities were identified. So this is the program for lab. You could see that most of the lab are ready to actually roll out their products in the market. Inshallah, in the next, we'll be coming and pitching these products through the companies we registered, inshallah. Now that this is the second product, I covered the highlight to you that what Pakistan in education, what we have done in R&D, and the last part is the industry part. For that, we have done is we have developed here at National Center of Cybersecurity, we have established Pakistan Cybersecurity Cluster. So here what we have done, we have filtered out all the companies which actually exist in Pakistan providing any service in cybersecurity. And that is called a cybersecurity cluster. In world, approach of cybersecurity, approach of cluster is used to promote any industry. So if you want to promote the industry in cybersecurity, this cluster is actually being developed. So we've been heavily engaged with Turkish cybersecurity cluster, and part is that I have written to near 120 universities in Pakistan to establish cybersecurity student clubs. So what that means is that throughout Pakistan, every university will have a cybersecurity student clubs, and through National Center of Cybersecurity, we will be delivering free trainings and again, actually education and directing them and linking them to industry as well. So they are part of the Pakistan Cybersecurity Cluster, and I will actually show you some of the universities which are already registered with us, and we are helping them out. And obviously the students are managing all this. So this is, we have signed an MOU with the Ministry of, Presidency of Turkish Defense, with National Center of Cybersecurity. So there are 137 companies in Turkey, and we have only 22 or 26 companies in Pakistan. But inshallah, our target is that we double up this figure in next 2 to 3 year time. This is the Pakistani companies registered with us in the cybersecurity cluster. We arrange a regular meeting and create opportunity for them for Pakistani and global market. This is the student clubs registered so far with us. You could see that there are different clubs from different universities. They are already, engaged with us, and we actually encouraging them to actually attend our events and take any benefit that they can take it with us. But this number is increasing, and inshallah we will update. All this information is available on nccs.pk website or website. You can also visit them there as well. This is the event we had with Turkish cybersecurity cluster and Pakistan cybersecurity cluster, and the objective was to bring business to Pakistan. And Alhamdulillah, this was a successful event, and we are heavily engaged with Turkey companies, and they are visiting us regularly here in Pakistan, and also, we visit them as well. These are our, again, some achievements and contribution. National Center of Cybersecurity helped Pakistan rank. We were 94, but we jumped to 79. And you could see that main significant score we have done in capacity building. So Alhamdulillah, the strategy we have followed, we score 75 in out of 20. And that make us actually jump that much higher jump. So if we follow the strategy that we are doing, inshallah, we will actually increase. And we, inshallah, we want to target is with the top 10 in the world, and then also lead in the world, inshallah. Again, we are heavily engaged with the law enforcement agencies, and we are doing free of cost security audit for all the federal ministries. And so far, we have done 7 ministries audit completed. We also, I personally, with the president of in different ways to actually advise them on the domain of cybersecurity, and we regular input to all the ministries on policy making as well. Like, for example, when they are developing a national cybersecurity policy and a National Data Protection Act, we regularly give them input to HEC, to ministries as well. So this is again heavy engagement here as well. This is our conference, which I will play the video shortly, successfully conducted this year physically, and the President of Pakistan actually attended that, and he inaugurated, the National Cybersecurity Academy establishing at Air University. That is again a next step up to compete globally, that we want to actually rise up, inshallah, and improve our standards as well. Again, my target is by 2023, if you want to lead in a global, that is our actually that these we target youth, we target executives, and we also heavily invest in R&D, and we also at university we encourage people to create startups, because that's where we can bring a revolution in economy of Pakistan. The more we create jobs, the more we encourage people to actually move toward businesses. Inshallah, we'll hope that we'll see prosperous Pakistan in our life, inshallah. So these are some conventions. Obviously, you already got the idea that curriculum exists. We need to actually develop it and improve the standard in this curriculum, and obviously try to improve our standards at the international level. So again, courses, again, we have to actually make sure that these courses are at such level which can produce the productive students, and we actually highlight and target the core area, and we're trying to even simplify things for people so laymen can understand what cybersecurity is. So we can even publish book in Urdu as well. So those who cannot understand English are not aware about cybersecurity. We can actually, local languages, we can actually publish and make videos to make people aware of that. Obviously, these are the strategic move. We have to actually offer good salary packages so that a lot of international people can come here to Pakistan as well. And this apply not to cybersecurity, to any other domain as well. R&D, obviously, we need to expand that setup. NCCS is actually expanding that setup as well. In next year, we will be encouraging more universities to actually apply, and more labs should be established as well. So we are already funding 9 additional research products worth of 15 million worth of these projects. But unfortunately, there are very little applicants actually apply for these research funds as well. So it means the scale of Pakistan is very low in terms of this research, increase in future. Again, industry, we have to heavily and we have to invest in this to make sure that we have to develop science park, incubation center in different universities, and push and encourage our students to create startups in cybersecurity and other domains as well. Again, these are interlinked challenges, which I will skip, which may not be relevant in this talk. This is the summary. Again, cybersecurity is a global challenge. We have limited technology in Pakistan, Cybersecurity is a big market, growing fast. There's a golden opportunity for us to grow economy-wise. So we need to move toward indigenization. That this is that we need to develop our own technology and not be very dependent on foreign technology. For that, we need to have a high-quality education system, and urgent action is required here. Again, we need a synergy among the institutions to actually, move timely and compete internationally as well. That's just from my side. And again, I'm sorry that I didn't actually want to actually move technically very depth in AI. This was the topic, but I have tried to highlight where we use artificial intelligence in the cybersecurity. But the objective was actually to make you aware as well that how important is for us to be very focused toward the economy of Pakistan. Because if we don't do that, obviously, ultimately, it impact throughout, different domains that we are actually currently facing challenges. So I think they are the problem, but there are opportunities. So if we work as a nation, one team, not Air University, not Qaid-e-Azam, not anything, but all these universities, all student clubs, all industry, we have to work as one unit to compete internationally, to be leader in the domain of cybersecurity and any other domain as well. So that's it from my side. And then if there is any question, I'm happy to take the question as well. And I'm very sorry for the longer presentation, but I thought it is important to highlight you the main. And if you don't do any important part of interdependency, and we will search again problem we face now as well, plus jobs that we are facing in different domains. So thank you.
And from the audience have a question, so they may please ask.
Okay, screen comment with Kashif. As usual, you have done good presentation. Well, the most important thing which you also pointed out, to see the market. We have our youngster, there is no job market, so we have to look forward how to accommodate them. So it's good that Yale University with others, we have taken a good step. So we hope something will be coming out very soon, because youngsters are looking very badly for good jobs. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I think you have highlighted, and this is the problem we face in majority of our domain. You could see that there's shrinking market. But if you see that on the other end, if you could look at Germany, Japan, they are actually in a huge demand. There are not enough people for that. So there's something wrong that what we are not doing rightly. And that is the component I've highlighted, the component number 3. We do the first, the second component, but not the third component. We do PhD, we do MS, but then we sit for a job essays, but nobody actually take the initiative, which is the hardest part, that we have to create our own startup. So Alhamdulillah, I'm taking the opportunity for this platform that Air University Vice Chancellor, even the last week, given a green signal for strongly recommended that 99% of the equity of the company will go to student or a faculty member, but they should come out to actually help this in national cause, that we not only create the company for the purpose of me making money, but I am creating money to actually create more jobs, to have those and support more families. So, and I tell you that this is, you are not supporting by creating a cybersecurity or IT or any company. So if you create more job, that person buying power increase, he buy more things in the market. So another industry flourish. His family. center, which soon. And we have also Turkish company visited yesterday. They are also opening incubation center at Air University for cybersecurity company. And similarly, companies from Silicon Valley is visiting us here at Air University to also actually create these setups as well. So inshallah, we are hoping for a good future in Pakistan, and I'm positive, inshallah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
may I allow you?
Thank you so much. Ji.
I would like to ask,
Yes, please, sir.
am I allowed to ask something?
Yes, please, you may ask,
Okay.
sir. Please.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kashif, I think it was a very good lecture. I enjoyed it. My question is how this cybersecurity and IT, they are related. As far as I understand, they are very much interlinked. You cannot separate these two. So therefore, that is the future. I think we have to train our people in cybersecurity as well as IT. Let me tell you one thing about the job propositions at NCP. Recently, there is an ad about the induction of about 100 researchers in the domain of cybersecurity. We have developed a new center, artificial intelligence and technology. So if you have certain really good brains, just ask them to apply for it. It will be a very good possibility. I think we have to invest a lot. So the SPD has decided to invest some money in this direction, but I will request you to find जिसे कहते हैं ना हीरा, ऐसे हीरे या हीरोइन हमें दें ना, हीरो नहीं कहता, सॉरी, अच्छे लोगों को दें ताकि वो हम उनको इंडक्ट करें और हम अपने फ्यूचर को थोड़ा सा हम अपने फ्यूचर को थोड़ा सा मजीद बेहतर कर सकें. So this was my message. I think is excellent. We have to move forward in this. Or NCP is a place for the future of cybersecurity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I think, sir, will definitely, if you can share me the details, and I will definitely circulate that, and we will encourage good students to actually apply for that, and good scholars. And also, sir, because you have rightly pointed the shortage of good people and skill as well. So if you look at the problem is very big. So what we have to do is we have to come back to again to the root thing as well, that we need to raise the level of our standard in education as well. Is our student in current education are capable to actually be very much effective in current job, as you mentioned, and the job that we have, or also contribute internationally? If not, then we have to make sure that we speed up that process to compete internationally as well, to fulfill our needs and also capture the international jobs as well. So for that, I think, sir, again, we can definitely share, the potential students with you. But also I will take this opportunity to all my colleagues sitting here, is that we have to be very serious in our education system as well. Never ever think that when you are teaching this is a course. That course can be source of happiness for many families, and that you are linking a chain. Education, and this person, if learns something from you and use that effectively in a practical life, you have done your job. So we as a faculty member and educationist, we can actually reform our country, and we can actually make more prosperous as well. So I think we, alhamdulillah, we are as a believer as well. We believe that अगर हमारी नियत इंशाल्लाह इससे होगी तो अभी एक गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि थ्रिल तो सिर्फ इधर ही है, जन्नत में थ्रिल नहीं है. ये चैलेंज अभी हमारे पास गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी पाकिस्तान फेस कर रहा है. लेट वर्क एज अ यूनिट, सपोर्ट ईच अदर वेरी पॉजिटिवली, बट अवॉइड.
जन्नत में तो सारे मौलवी होने, जन्नत को भूल जाएं, हमें दुनिया को संभालना है, जन्नत बाद में देखेंगे.
नहीं, मैं जनरल बात कर रहा हूँ. कहने का मतलब है कि I'm just motivating myself as well, that we have to actually work hard and we have to be positive, and our intention should be very clear that we don't want anything in return, but just to help our country, inshallah, and our people as well, inshallah. Sir, thank you for the question. Sir.
May I have a question, please?
Dr. Noor Mohammed.
Yes, please. Sir.
Yeah. You know, there is some sound, I think. Well, the nanotechnology is an industrial revolution in the world, and the world market is something like $1 to $3 trillion. And can you please discuss some connection of the artificial intelligence, although you have done the cybersecurity, but I would like to have the economic discussion relating these two fields.
Sir, a very good question, and I'm very glad that you have pointed exactly the way I want to highlight as well. You mentioned about the global market of the nanotechnology. If we have that attitude of targeting global market, you will see that as a nation will grow. So again, nanotechnology is a huge potential and huge growth. Now, how AI can help you in nanotechnology as well, sir? Normally, artificial intelligence can automate and make your process is more efficient. So whatever you develop in a nanotechnology, whatever effective, more efficient, more energy efficient, you can say they can adopt as per the atmosphere intelligently and be more efficient as well. And good thing is that already AI are used in these domains as well heavily. So you could see chemical engineering domain as well. Now another thing is that when you come to cyber as well, that how cyber can link to nanotechnology. Sir, all the nanotechnology product we are developing is they tell another one thing is they call them security by design. So while we're developing any nanotechnology solution, a security expert can actually embed that as a part of the system when it decides that as well. That can be more efficient and more valuable product in the market. So I hope I answered your question.
Very much. Regarding this,
Sir, I cannot hear you, sir.
Sir Noor, your mic is mute. Sir, your mic is mute. Yes, please. Is there any other question?
Sir Noor can type the question if he has anything in the comment box, and then you can read it.
I think
the question, I can take another question.
his video is stopped. That's why he's not responding.
Okay. Okay, I'll take another question if there are any questions.
So if there is any question, you can move on. Ji sir, Dr. Parvez Iqbal, please sir.
Assalamualaikum ji. Dr. Sahab, this was an excellent talk and I enjoyed it. I'm basically a biochemist or a biologist. So I would like to know that to enter into your field, is it necessary that one has to have a basic degree in artificial intelligence before one can move into the cyber security domain?
Sir, if you, it's a very good question, sir. Eventually, your field or any other field eventually will be more interesting to actually perform some analytics on the data that they have gathered. Normally, you could say that even currently we use statistical methods, we use mathematical models to actually check that what data we have. So data science, AI can do a lot of interesting things in your domain as well. They can actually do predictive models. You can analyze the patterns in the biological growth or whatever the domains you have, and that data analysis for you to perform on a mass volume of the data will be very difficult for you. So for example, if you have the data available for you, for example, plants or other domains, and the set of data is huge. So you can transform that into the digital data and then perform AI to actually perform very interesting result out of this. So that will help you to give you direction in terms of research. And also you can predict things on the basis of the data, what's happening to any particular domain as well. So I think that will enrich your domain as well. If you do two things, question number one is how the data of the biological data can be transformed in a digital form, and in which format, and then how you can apply that. So I will suggest that how you can move in this direction, perhaps that you actually work in a multidisciplinary fashion with a scientist or PhD from data science or AI, and you explain the problem and you explain that what type of the data you can have. And then they will eventually work with you and will come up with a brilliant solution. So you don't have to go and learn the whole AI by yourself or the data science by yourself. You rather, the world is moving to multidisciplinary research. If you do that, sir, again, you can do miracle in your domain.
Thank you very much. Associated with this thing is that at your Air University, in the BS program, do you encourage a multidisciplinary approach in the early years so that biologists, physicists, and AI people and engineers can all take courses together, some courses together which are common to all, I mean, and then they can develop, biologists can develop interest in one field, or they can join hand later on to come up with the multidisciplinary projects?
Sir, I will answer in two steps. Number one, this is true what you are saying, that we should be doing that. And everybody is saying that for many, many years you would have heard. But eventually you will see that very little engagement happening in Pakistan as well. But we will reach to the point where we have no other choice to engage with each other. Because the nature of the problem in biology in your domain comes, we will have no other choice to actually work with AI and other things to solve the problem of the society or the community we have. Eventually, this will lead us to multidisciplinary. So before we end up in that problem and we move, why not we start it now? So I think people like you, we should encourage this. And then eventually we are the people who actually make the academic system and things like that. And we can encourage that at our end. You can encourage from your part, and why not? So personally, I tell you an example that I heavily engage with the English department and psychology, because that is cybersecurity linked. And I tell you that we don't have people in Pakistan as well in the domain of cognitive psychology and other things. Well, very limited people. So it's a huge market that psychologists are heavily needed. So again, it's multidisciplinary. You take the example of medicine, sir. Again, medicine and technology, all our domain will be linked with IT and technology. So we should take immediate action. That was my recommendation.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Pervez. We can take one last question because Dr. Kashif have another meeting.
yes.
So last question, yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I'm sorry. I'm Bilal from National Center for Physics. Actually, my question regarding your applications. इन एप्लीकेशंस के डेवलपमेंट के अंदर आपने बताया कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का इस्तेमाल है बहुत ज्यादा, और इनको बनाने के लिए जो डाटा सेट है, क्या आपने कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म रखा हुआ है जिसमें ये डाटा सेट सारा या थोड़ा सा जिसका ओपन एक्सेस अवेलेबल है रिसर्चर्स के लिए या यूनिवर्सिटीज के लिए?
जी, इट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन। ऑल्दो हमारा जो सेंटर है वो साइबर सिक्योरिटी पे फोकस है, तो हम एआई को अपने मकसद के लिए यूज करते हैं साइबर डोमेन में। इसके अलावा हमारे एक और सेंटर है, वो है नेशनल सेंटर ऑफ बिग डाटा एंड क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग। वो उन्होंने अभी एक नेशनल वो रिपोजिटरी बना रहे हैं डाटा सेट्स की, जो कि फ्रीली अवेलेबल है। वो वेबसाइट भी मैं आपसे शेयर कर दूंगा। वहां पर वो अवेलेबल कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान से रेलेवेंट जो हमारी मुख्तलिफ इशू है उसका डाटा सेट अवेलेबल है। आप उसके ऊपर R&D करें, वो प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करें, और देन यू कैन एक्चुअली पब्लिश दोस एज वेल। सो देयर इज अ रिपोजिटरी व्हिच बीइंग डेवलप्ड to solve our local problems. So data sets are available for you as well in a different domain, agriculture, or you can name it here.
Okay, so with this, we come to the end of this talk. I thank Professor Kashif Kafai for delivering a very interactive and inspiring talk on artificial intelligence with reference to cybersecurity. I take this opportunity to thank our online participants, especially Dr. Noor Mohammad Bhatt Sahab, Dr. Aslam Beg Sahab, Dr. Askari Maqsood Sahaba, Dr. Parvez Iqbal Sahab, and the organizer of this talk, Professor Dr. Muazzam Ali Khan Khatak Sahab. I think we have all learned quite well about the need of the cybersecurity and the need for Pakistan, especially education, academia, industry, and public in general. So with this, I thank everyone, and we conclude this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kashif Kafai, for your time and such a nice talk. So hopefully our student and Pakistan Academy will definitely collaborate with you in future as well.
Always
thank
welcome,
you.
sir. Anytime. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I invite all the participants here for a cup of tea, please.